Welcome to yet another installment of Carrie Reads. This month is April, and April is National Poetry Month. And if you know about me, you know. If you know, you know that a lot of my writing has been poetry over the years. I've written a little bit of everything, but I have published self-published three volumes of poetry that are all available on Amazon. So poetry is very important to me. Um, so I thought instead of doing my normal, read a novel in a month, do a review for you, what I want to do is I want to do some reviews of poetry and do that for a National Poetry Month with the hopes that it might inspire you to go out and get some poetry yourself. And one of the things that I did recently is I got a library card finally in Indianapolis. I'm very happy to say, finally got a library card and I have been utilizing it. And it's all to start with my first book of poetry that I'm going to talk to you about today. If you saw the thumbnail, you know that I'm going to be talking about To Drink Coffee with a Ghost by Amanda Lovelace. Amanda Lovelace was published, had a lot of books published with the Andrews McMeel Publishing Company. It was this company that was a number of years ago, just kind of a few years back, was kind of trying to bring back poetry in the public eye, very, in your face. And a lot of it started with a poet called Ruby Carr. Um, I personally am not too horribly fond of Ruby Carr's work. Not that that doesn't mean that it might strike a chord with you in a positive manner. It's just not my cup of tea. But I will tell you that when looking at some of these newer poets to come out of Andrews McMeel um, publishing, I actually did latch on to the work of Amanda Lovelace. She has quite a number of different books. And let me see if I can get you a list here of all the books that Amanda Lovelace has done. Let's see here. About the author, let's just go ahead and talk a little bit about what Amanda Lovelace says about themselves. Having grown up a word devourer, an avid fairy tale lover, it is only natural that Amanda Lovelace began writing books of her own, and so she did. When she isn't reading or writing, she can be found waiting for pumpkin spice coffee to come back into season and binge watching Gilmore Girls. I love pumpkin spice coffee and Gilmore Girls. That appealed to me right off the bat. Before you ask, Team Jess all the way. Um, the lifelong poetess and storyteller currently lives in New Jersey with her spouse, their ragdolls, and a combined book collection so large it soon needs its own home. She is a two-time winner of the Goodreads Choice Award for Best Poetry, as well as a USA Today and Publishers Weekly Best Seller. Amanda Lovelace. Right on, girl. Right on. Okay. So, other books by Amanda Lovelace. The Some Kind of Women or Some Kind of Magic series. This is The Princess Saves Herself in this one. Read it. The Witch Doesn't Burn in this one. Read it. The Mermaid's Voice Returns in this one. Read it. Then you have Slay Those Dragons, a journal for writing your own story. And The Things That Haunt Duology to Make Monsters Out of Girls. Read it. And now To Drink Coffee with a Ghost. Now I have read that finally. As you can tell by my list of rambling off exactly what I've read and what I haven't, I definitely have read a lot by this author. Um, so um, let's go ahead and get into it. This is from a set of poetry, like it said, a duology to make monsters out of girls and to drink coffee with a ghost. Amanda Lovelace's poetry really speaks to me because of the feminist overtones, but also the quite um, unrelenting desire to not only be honest and truthful about where she's coming from, but also be something that a lot of people can sit there and relate to. Now, there are trigger warnings attached to this book. This book deals with a lot of the ins and outs about coming to terms with a relationship with her mother, and the relationship that her and her sister also at times had with their mother, um, prior to and during their mother's sickness with cancer, and also after her death, um, and helping, come to terms with everything that she experienced in life and in sickness and in death with her mother. Um, all right. As always, one of the things I absolutely love that when books do this, if it's needed, if it's applicable, I love the idea of using trigger warnings. It hurts no one, it only helps people. And if it hurts no one and only helps people, why not do it? Why not use it? Why not make it something that is a practice in your writing life? I'm always going to say that if you have things that could trigger people, always allow people to enjoy your work with the knowledge of what they're getting into. Um, it never hurts, it only helps. Um, and it can help people avoid hurt, which is always good in my book. Trigger warnings attached to drink coffee with a ghost, child abuse, eating disorders, sexual assault, self harm, violence, cheating, death, gore, blood, trauma, grief, and possibly more. And she says, remember to practice self care before, during, and after reading. Well done. Thank you, Amanda. Um, this book published copyright, just to make sure you guys got all the information you could possibly need for this thing before going into it. Let me see here. Before getting into the content, I'm trying to. The pages, especially on the hardcovers of the books from this company, thick. I found myself like really just trying to be like, am I skipping pages here? And like checking it and rechecking it and checking Lex Begin. Oh man. Um I am looking. I am looking for the copyright. Do we have a copyright page? This is crazy. Like, these pages are so thick. Is there a copyright page in the end? Yes, there is. The copyright page in the end. Kind of different than normal books. Copyright 2019 by Amanda Lovelace. Published by Andrews McMeel Publishing, like I already mentioned. And yeah. So this book is divided into 3 sections. A lot of Amanda Lovelace's poetry is very quick, very easy to read. Literally, there's like, if I hadn't been reading on my second session of reading this, so I read this technically in 3 sessions of reading, sitting down reading it right before bed, and it's only 3 sessions. It's technically 3 sessions of reading. It would have only been 2 if I hadn't have gone to bed very late that one night. And it was like, okay, I'm into this, but I literally cannot keep my eyes open. I'm going to have to come back to this tomorrow. 3 sessions of reading this book. It's not very thick. The pages are very thick. I'm telling you, I cannot stress that enough. The pages are thick in this baby. And this is the hardcover edition. I believe there are paperback editions as well. um, read this very quickly. Poetry is very short, to the point, no nonsense, but does have a lot of wonderful imagery, um, especially some of the imagery and everything that comes with the idea. She's a tarot reader as well, and somebody she talks about getting her first deck of tarot cards, and there's like using the tarot cards as kind of a way to kind of juxtaposition some of the things that she's starting to say in some of these poems here, like the death card reversed, and that kind of thing, and talking about how, when she pulled this card, um, she had these feelings because of what the death card actually um, is portraying, and it's not actually a card of death, but a card of change and rebirth, and what have you. Um, but she is a tarot reader, and sometimes like the imagery of like being able to sit there and see her, like when she's talking about a particular card, like her pulling this card, you know, and being like, oh wow, like you can almost like see that if you're a tarot reader and like I am, you can see that card in front of you almost. Um, but this particular book is divided into three sections. There is the first section is Ghost Mother, Ghost Daughter, and then Sun Showers. And one of the things I kind of like, especially about this book and other stuff that I have read by Amanda Lovelace, is this ability to be able to take you through the spectrum of discovery and emotions when it comes to this, like this journey. You have a wonderful little like spectrum rainbow, and that's your journey, you know. And in this, she takes you through like different portions of in going in, while she does go back and forth between a time period where her mother is deceased, a time period where she's sick, and the time period when afterwards. um it's structured in a way that you find the you find organization in her feeling. Even though there's a lot of chaos in her feeling, you find organization within it. um, and if you're someone that is working through something involving complex loss, um, it can be interesting to sit there and read something like To Drink Coffee with a Ghost, because it's a very complex loss that she's talking about. Like the whole, there's a love there, but there's also pain there. And the chaos of having that kind of complex loss um, is displayed quite well within the context of this book. But what it also does is it kind of brings us full circle by the end, where you've seen her working through it, and yeah, by the end she's still working on it. Um, but you see the sun showers, which is the third part of the book. Overall, very quick read, like I mentioned earlier. Um, I don't feel like I've wasted any time reading Amanda Lovelace. I'm very much a fan. Um, and I'm very glad to present this to you as the first book of the April National Poetry Month. All goes well. um, if all goes well, the next book I'm going to be presenting to you, I would like to do at least three, um, fingers crossed, four different poetry collections. Just depends on how much time I have available to me. Um, and in doing this, it'd be really great to be able to at least do one a week. Um, I mean, more if possible. Why not, right? I have placed a hold request on a book, which is the last published book of poetry by Leonard Cohen, So that's what you have to look forward to. Hopefully, I'm able to get that picked up at some point this week and get that started on the reading. Leonard Cohen is one of my favorite songwriters of all time, and one of my favorite poets, coincidentally, of all time. Um, Absolutely beautiful things. Actually just I'm really excited to read that. But that's just giving you a little bit of a preview on what's coming next in National Poetry Month here in April. But to be honest with you, Drink Coffee with a Ghost by Amanda Lovelace is I do recommend it. I do recommend it, um, especially just with the knowledge and the idea that there is there is sunlight at the end of the tunnel. There is light at the end of the tunnel. No matter what you're dealing with, you can find light again. Um, and that goes for anyone. You know, if you put the work in and you want to find that light at the end of the tunnel, that can be found. You can find it somewhere. Even if it's just a little pinprick of light, go find it at the end of your tunnel and don't stop heading towards it until you reach it. So, um, check out To Drink Coffee with a Ghost by Amanda Lovelace. I guess I recommend it. But until next time, that's it for us right now for Carrie Reads. Until next time, keep your eyes and ears open. If you see something, say something. And remember, the complacent never make a difference. So go out there and make a difference. Bye.